You are listening to the SavageFINcast, episode 37. Just roll with it.
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the dragon.
This is the SavageFINcast, the show that knows that dress is blue and black. I am Jim Purcell.
I'm Craig Olson.
I'm Raven Perez.
Do either of you know anything about what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Unfortunately.
but
It's going to date this episode, I'm sure.
I know in 2 weeks nobody's gonna know what the hell we're talking about.
You could have said something about Spock dying. And you went with the dress.
Well, now we just went over both. There you go.
There you go.
Man, that was a kick in the nuts. That was almost as bad as Robin Williams last year.
I cried.
Yeah, Jesus. I mean, it's so sudden, too, and that's the worst part, is these guys are all getting old, and one of these days they're all going to be gone, and fuck.
Well, how old was he? In his 80s?
He was in his
He was
80s. I mean, he was pushing it, but you know, when you're successful and rich, you kind of assume the medical treatment's better and you live longer, but it's not always the case.
83 is pretty good, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I had longer living grandparents, so I kind of assume people live in their 90s more often than not, but it's just not true, I suppose.
You think he really has that much money? Like, or
What,
had
Leonard
that much
Nimoy?
money?
Jesus,
Yeah.
I bet he was doing pretty well. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the residuals off of all that old Star Trek stuff.
I guess, but I don't know. I mean, how much did he make when it was like around? Was
He could sell some fake ear tips and be a million. I'm just telling you.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I'm sure Paramount gets that, but but as a celebrity, I'm sure he was doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Still, though, it's just right. It's tough to just see your icons start disappearing.
Well,
You gotta wonder who's next. Harrison
I know.
Ford.
the
He's
rule of
pushing it.
threes.
Harrison Ford's ruining all his movies on the way out.
Yeah.
On the way out, you say, how about Indiana Jones 6 for the go?
Yeah, let's wreck that one. Let's wreck Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Star Wars is next.
No, I don't know. I got some hope about the new Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2 could be good. I mean, it depends what Ridley Scott shows up.
I'm
Did
with
you like
Craig.
Prometheus?
I did.
It was. I thought it was okay.
You didn't see it, Raven?
I know, I liked it, yeah.
I liked it too. A lot of people really don't.
I think I liked it more the fact that it was just another like sci-fi movie in the theater. Like that kind of gets me going.
That's also
It's not
true.
enough.
Like it was an R-rated sci-fi movie in a landscape where you don't see those anymore. So you kind of want to like it for that reason. I mean, I liked it because it's a very nihilistic film.
Mm.
But I don't know. A lot of people don't like it because it has some quote-unquote stupid moments.
Really, what doesn't, though?
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, getting a little off track. We should probably get into Erik Larsen news because later on we got the new what are we calling it there, Craig?
FINteresting Conversations segment.
And we got a lot of pretty good name, and we got a lot of responses for it. So we're gonna spend a little bit of time on the first one. So we'll get right into the news. Our first bit of news is that the Cartoon Museum in San Francisco will be featuring art of Erik Larsen. The Cartoon Museum presents Savage Dragon, the art of Erik Larsen, celebrating the 200th issue of the celebrated Image comic in a retrospective, which has been going on since February 7th and will continue until May 31st of 2015. The exhibition features more than 40 pieces personally selected by Erik, from his archives, highlighting major events of the life of his title character over the past 2 decades, as well as formal experiments and some of Erik's favorite pieces. For more details, go to cartoonart.org.
And
unfortunate, I'll never get to go.
I would love to have been a fly on the wall. Would have been great to go.
Yeah, they just had the reception a couple of days ago from this recording, or a day ago, I think it was, and Josh Eichhorn was there, or
cool.
Acorn, or however you say his name, Eichhorn, I think. There's a couple of people there that had kind of pros there and stuff like that.
Word on the street is that the museum did do recording, both video and audio, and it should be available on their website.
That would be awesome.
Of his guided tour.
Did you guys see some of the pictures of the exhibit?
I have not. Were they on Facebook?
Yeah, they're on.
Yes.
I think Erik put it on his page, or someone put it on the Savage Dragon fan page. It was really cool. There was a lot of pages I didn't expect. There was some early pages of like Erik's personal collection that he drew of Superman and the old Paul Dragon, Savage Dragon that he.
Yeah, old Tiny fan.
Yeah, like stuff he did as a kid.
I guess it's one of the few pieces that survived the fire.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, I'm not sure what the status of the old Paul Dragon stuff. If that was lost in the fire, or if that was after.
No, I think he said most of it. He had didn't he, Raven? Or I don't know if you remember. I remember talking about it on the forums, and he had 100 comics that he made by stapling 8.5 by 11 pieces.
Yeah, but
of
that was
together.
early stuff.
And lost all that.
Yeah, when he was still a preteen and a teen.
Oh, you're talking about kind of the Megaton stuff.
Yeah, it's Megaton stuff. I'm not sure the status of that stuff. He must still have it.
The quality of this Paul Dragon Superman picture, it looks more recent. It doesn't look like something he would have lost in the fire or whatever.
Right.
I'm thinking that it's Megaton era.
Yeah, but he lost all his stuff in the fire when he was working at Marvel.
Oh.
That was during the Marvel era?
Yeah, a lot of those Spider-Man, I think it was either the regular Spider-Man or some of the Amazing Spider-Man stuff.
Of Spider-Man work.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he did.
In my mind, the fire took place earlier.
Before his career took off? Yeah,
no,
I was pretty sure it was during his career. So I wasn't sure.
He was already big on Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Jeez, you guys are blowing my mind here.
The timeline is convoluted.
You skewed things a little. I was like, whoa, what?
No, that's cool. I mean, I got to get on Facebook and see what's up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like I said, and he put a lot of those double pages from the recent issues that the twice up kind of stuff.
198 or 90.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
All those car doors.
Yeah.
You can even tell, it's funny because, I mean, I know it's not as good as actually seeing it, but I'm saying just seeing it, framed in a wall, I don't know, it kind of adds to the scale. It's awesome. You should definitely check it out. Speaking
of, this kind of ties into our episode where we interviewed Josh Eichhorn. There was a photo that he posted on Facebook, or someone posted, and Josh commented, he's like, this piece holds some significance or something like that, and it was him and Erik posing next to Savage Dragon #1 cover, and then a couple of people kind of commented drool or something like that in there.
Mm-hmm. He says it's still on there. If ever Josh is destroyed and they want to rebuild an island full of him, they can clone him
from his DNA off of the Savage Dragon #1 page.
Dinosaurs. That's it. Oh, awesome. I wish I could go. I hope that people check out the website and, see that guided tour. We'll be sure to pimp it on dragonfan.net as soon as that is actually posted.
Oh, yeah.
Get out there if you can, right?
Right.
The other news that we have, 2 quick, smaller items, but still awesome, is there's new Savage Dragon t-shirts available for sale. Erik added 4 new t-shirt designs to his official online store. You can check it out at screened.com/Erik Larsen. That's screened, SKREENED.com/Erik Larsen. That's Erik with a K, guys. Get it right. But those shirt designs look awesome. I mean, there's even been like some fans, putting up pictures of like themselves actually wearing them. It's fantastic. It's good.
Well, and they're much. I remember his old designs, which I'm not a fan of, like the ones that are just like a big block square, kind of like he would just put the covers on, and like he didn't really put much effort onto it. But these are kind of like circular, and like the characters kind of stick out of the design. It's not just like a square block,
It's good. It's got a way better look than what he was doing.
Yeah.
The other piece of news, trekking right along, is there was a new cover release, Savage Dragon 205, which has got our man Malcolm going to the prom.
Yeah, it's a cool cover. I like the way the pose is on that. He's kind of just jumping on that mutant guy. Malcolm is. It's a neat looking pose.
Does it look like Dance Off?
Dance Off? No.
Like the way that guy's feet are, the way he's on his tippy toes.
It's
he's just kind of doing the shit. Kevin Bacon, Footloose.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody cut.
It's cool though. The colors are cool. It's kind of like that muted pink, like the flat colors.
It's like a salmon.
Yeah, I like it.
You think it's Maxine's date?
Oh no.
Why else Malcolm beating him up?
I don't know about that. I gave up guessing. Every time I guess to something, like I never guess it right.
I mean, he looks pretty well dressed. He must be invited.
You didn't guess that there'd be a foursome following two threesomes.
Two issues later? No.
Yeah. No, it's a cool cover.
Well, interesting to note
good.
about this cover is that it's colored by Erik, which I think he commented he hadn't colored in a while.
Right.
Looks good. His basic style is typically like flats, and I don't know. I like it. It's a cool look.
It's got a
be an
muted palette. It's got like I guess that's salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called it pink. I'm adult.
Lots and lots of salmon.
Salmon's pink. It's all good. I'm just I'm a fan of all this high school stuff. We're never gonna get it back, so it's cool to see Malcolm at the prom.
With a prom cover, it means your time's ending quickly.
Well, speaking of which, remember, actually, have we talked about the updated Legacy cover? I don't think we have.
Ooh, no, that's a great point.
Yeah,
Jim, bring it home. Additional news article.
Yeah,
just entered the feed.
Apparently Erik decided to change his cover for the Savage Dragon Legacy Free Comic Book Day one shot. Initially, it had the old Savage Dragon logo with Malcolm in the foreground as a cop with his dad superimposed on the back when he was in his prime. And I thought it was a really badass cover, except for the fact that the Legacy text caused tangents all over the place. But Erik decided to change it, and now it's just Malcolm kind of winking at the camera while, like, flexing. And all, but
you don't like
it? I don't care for it, the new one, the new art. But
you don't like it?
I don't.
I like it.
I think
really?
it's boring as hell.
Really?
Non-dynamic.
You like the old one better?
Yeah, I do.
I like the old one, but I like the new one. I like the new logo. I think the new logo is way better.
Well, that's the thing. The new cover introduces an updated new logo. Basically, the Letterman college font has been like reduced down to more block letters.
Well, it looks like it merged with the old logo. It's kind of like a merging of the old logo and the new logo if you look at it.
Is it? I don't know if I got that impression. You might be right.
Look at the way the letters are shaped. It looks like the old Savage Dragon kind of.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I hadn't noticed. Good observation.
Oh, Savage. Oh, you're right. It's the same similar font to the Savage and the old Savage Dragon logo.
Yeah.
I did not catch that. You are correct, sir.
You clever devil.
I try.
Clever girl.
So yeah, but
this is Jurassic Park theme going on here.
I don't know.
But the point is that the new updated logo on the updated cover is not present on this latest issue, presumably because he's still in high school. And once he graduates from high school, the logo will change permanently.
I think once he becomes a cop.
Yeah.
He has said that Legacy is a bit out of sequence.
Yeah. And I still haven't quite gotten clear if he's going to turn Legacy into a regular issue in the future, or if it's just going to fit in somewhere.
He did say that on Facebook that
Yeah.
it's going to be.
It's going to be a regular issue.
Yeah, and that's
probably
kind of like how
smartest
he's
thing.
always done it.
Yeah, well, I mean that's how he has done it in the past, and I mean it would have been kind of nice to like get an extra issue and call it an annual.
Right.
But
I think it's hard for him though to keep up. You know?
I think it makes the most sense to. It gives him a month of what it does is gives him a month of breathing room
right
to get ahead when you think about
He
it.
doesn't need breathing room.
Well, he's gonna be behind because he's
Doing
gonna.
this issue.
Right.
I think
Behind
honestly, I
or
think
11 issues.
I don't know. I think what would have been better is that have this just take the slot of a regular issue, but not reprint it as a regular issue. Like during the month, Free Comic Book Days in May, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have it be the May issue.
Yeah, but I think that's where you were saying like it's out of sync because he's not quite ready to to finish up his high school story, but at the same time he wants to introduce new readers to what's going to happen, the next big event for Malcolm.
That's got to be tricky to do an issue that's in the future without spoiling the current stuff.
Yeah. But I don't think he's going to be that far off. I think he probably has it planned out enough. It's probably only going to be like 1 or 2 issues off or something like that. I could be wrong, but if he's already got the prom kind of issue solicited, I can't.
Yeah, I think however it works, I don't think it's going to jack stuff up too bad or anything. I mean, I think it'll be all right.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll work then.
I'm just saying that, instead of reprinting it as a regular issue like he's done, like we did with the Daredevil issue way
just
back.
make it come out
have it come out and then in the trade, print it in the proper sequence.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is looking at the old cover, right? So you got Malcolm in the foreground and you got Dragon in the background.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that I've been reading some of these new. A lot of people jumped on with 200, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know that everybody necessarily gets that Malcolm is not his dad.
Right.
Because
Really?
I read a few that's like Dragon slept with his sister, and I was like, well, not exactly. But it's funny because it was like, imagine you're somebody that doesn't know Malcolm's different than his dad,
right?
And you're looking at the cover to the Dragon Legacy. It's kind of like one of those glamour shots people used to take.
The 70s shots where you're like.
I don't know.
Exactly.
It works better with the big dragon in the background, kind of like a ghost, being his legacy, and then you see their different skin tones, and it makes it more obvious that they're 2 different people.
Yeah.
And also, there's a bunch of ugly monsters.
I liked both covers. I think the newer cover grabs you more because he's kind of looking at you, pointing. I don't know. It's
you want to make that new cover more awesome. The minute you look at it, just in your mind, imagine him being like, "Hey, you, this is going in you."
Yeah, but I get that.
Ugh, is he gonna rape me?
This is my rape face.
This fist and your ass.
Ugh.
Evil doer. You gotta make it about justice.
What kind of justice are you into?
Chicago PD style. You're gonna be able to crap the bean when I'm done with you. Oh my God. Good with the covers. Good with Legacy. I totally had forgotten the Legacy cover. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It has been a minute. We're running a bit late.
We're going to make up for it, though. It's going to be the best episode ever, right?
Oh,
right?
Yeah. I can already tell. 2 Jurassic Park references, multiple mispronunciation of Acorn's name.
And rape jokes.
Oh, yeah. We're really hitting sinking it from half court.
Shall we FINterestingly conversate?
Yes, let's go to our new segment. We're ditching the trivia for a while, and we're gonna have this new segment called FINteresting Conversation. We started it last
episode. Not to be confused with Finterest, which is our app where you post pictures of Savage Dragon
and weight loss tips.
Damn, you just let that out of the bag. That was we're still in production there, and our idea is gonna be stolen. But so FINteresting Conversation. This is the segment where we pose a selected listener question to the group, and we have a roundtable discussion about it. You can send in your questions and opinions to SavageFINcast@gmail.com, and everyone who submits their opinion either about last week's question that we posed or submits a new question, or both, will be entered into a drawing to win a limited edition Malcolm Dragon t-shirt designed by our boy here, Raven.
Woohoo!
Who apparently has some modicum of artistic skill.
It is pretty badass. I've seen him. I haven't seen him in person yet. I intend to get my hands on one as soon as Raven tells me how. But we'll take care of you. We've seen the graphic, and we have it on dragonfan.net, and it's really, really neat.
It's gonna get you some play, this shirt.
There you go. Is that for real? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
It totally works. Yeah.
Nice. So last week's question, which I started off by posing because it was our first time we did the segment, was, who is your least favorite Savage Dragon supporting character of all time?
And I need to amend mine.
Oh, wait. Come on.
I actually just realized who I find more boring than Hercules.
Who's that?
Daredevil.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a super fan of Daredevil.
He's kind of I think he plays that role, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, but he looks cool at least.
Yeah, cooler than Hercules.
And just to remind the listeners, Raven and I both said Jennifer, which is the real correct answer.
Which is the easy
I'm just kidding.
For those who don't understand the subtle nuances of Jennifer as a complex and an emotive woman.
Who could not be described with a single word, bitchy.
So let's go through some of the our listener responses. John Panozzi wrote in. He said, "Interesting that you guys didn't think much of Jennifer. I really haven't read the issues with her, so I don't have much of an opinion on her. To be frank, I think Maxina's coming off as kind of weird, initiating and then taping the threesome with Malcolm and Angel. And since Tiara has broken up with both Malcolm and Frank Jr., I think she may be a rather fickle person." Which I don't necessarily disagree with, but I don't think that just because someone's kind of a fickle person or weird makes them kind of an uninteresting character.
Well, I think it's an interesting take because we were kind of going towards boring or just kind of annoying,
Yeah, right.
where he's going more that these people may not be good people.
Yeah, I mean, the question was who's your least favorite supporting character.
Right.
It wasn't who's the dullest, which would be Jennifer. So there you go. I kind of think those people, like especially back in the day, remember Rapture? She was just kind of like a real bitchy, kind of always worried about Dragon cheating on her.
Other kind of bitchy.
Yeah, but I think that that made it a real interesting character and kind of a fun person to read about, you know. And
see, I kind of found Rapture's jealous streak to be more, I don't know, grating sometimes because I'm not a jealous person, so I find people that are overtly jealous kind of obnoxious.
Yeah. Well, I did find it obnoxious, but it was always cool to be like, you know, which other superhero chick is she going to punch out this time or whatever, you know? So anyway, let's keep it moving. Will Poe said, I want to dispute the fact that Jennifer is boring.
Yes, Will Poe, high fives.
But quite frankly, I'm having a hard time coming up with a good point to counter this argument.
Ooh, word.
High five on your other hand, Poe.
I guess that says something, huh? Despite this fact, I still like her. Maybe because I feel like she's Dragon's Gwen Stacy, who is my boyhood comic crush. Coincidentally, I've met a few people who also thought Gwen was boring, so I guess she has that going for her. As far as the main cast member I don't like, I've never been particularly fond of Malcolm until recently. I think it was mostly because I knew at some point he was going to take over the book. So to me, he represented the end of Dragon's era, which I wasn't really ready for. It was during Dragon's trial that he finally started winning me over. I think the switch finally flipped for me when he knocked out Mako. Gotta respect that. Since then, I've come to really dig his character, and I'm excited for the future with Malcolm as the lead. I can agree with that.
Really, isn't Debbie Harris the Gwen Stacy?
You know...
there you go.
Yeah, actually, good point. Debbie, for the people that might not 100% know, is a door answering chick. Gets one in the computer.
And then... on the other hand, you can say, isn't Gwen Stacy Debbie Harris? Because now Gwen Stacy's like an alternate reality has come back, like Debbie Harris did first.
Oh yeah, that whole Spider Gwen thing. That's actually pretty awesome. How that spun out and became a big to do.
But before that, Debbie Harris came back from another alternate dimension. So there you go.
Once again,
Set
Marvel
the trends.
Cribs ideas.
There you go.
Tisk.
Last comment was from Andrew Dientremont. He said, regarding your question from the last FINcast, who is your least favorite character? I would have to agree with the three of you. I didn't hate Jennifer, but she was definitely my least favorite character. He said agree with the three of us.
Clearly, his hate has blinded him to.
Everyone
who opens their mouth just says Jennifer to him.
He goes on to say she had no personality and had zero chemistry with Dragon. I think part of the problem was that Erik might have been trying a bit too hard to bring all the elements from the comics he drew as a kid into Savage Dragon. I think things worked best when he worked with his new creations.
Co-signed.
Yeah.
Screw Jennifer. Glad she died in such a horrible fashion.
Jim's so happy.
Well, actually, she didn't die in a horrible fashion. She died in a really off-panel fashion, when you think about it.
Yeah, so it
literally discarded.
Par for the course. A horrible way to end the character and a horrible character. Period.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Still hoping we get a flashback to her death.
That was really... That still weirds me out to this day. It just kind of...
Alternate angel shot her and then buried her underneath a warehouse.
Yeah, and it all happened.
And
it all happened off panel.
Yeah,
like it makes me think that there's something more to that still.
There isn't.
There could. That's what's crazy. Oh wait, well there was a grave. Remember?
Yeah, they dug her up and buried her.
And I forgot this is comic books.
Anyone can come back as a radioactive monster at any time.
That's true. I'm waiting for Uncle Ben to come back. I mean, fuck, we got Gwen. Alternate. What about Spider Ben? Let's do it.
I'm sure it already been done.
It's probably been done.
And he's teaming up with Spider Ham right now.
Well, during the I haven't been reading it, but during Spider-Verse there was an alternate universe where Aunt May was the Spider Person.
Oh, awesome!
Oh God,
Spider-Man.
It's
actually
serious?
radical as hell. Actually, Spider-Verse apparently has been pretty good if you like alternate reality versions of characters.
Ugh.
I mean, I do, but damn it.
I do for 5 minutes, and then I'm like, what?
They brought the Japanese giant robot Spider-Man in.
That was good. Good for them. But still, Spider-Man, I want to kill someone. That's the worst.
Oh, all right. Well,
so new
for the sake of time, what's that?
So I was saying, what's who won the question draw?
All right. Well, it's not a winner yet, but we had a bunch of questions come in. I think we had four questions that were posed for this week, and I chose one that I thought we could all get behind here. So for this week, we selected a question posed by John Panozzi, who asked, if there was a Savage Dragon related video game, think a beat 'em up or a fighting game, which characters would you like to be playable aside from the obvious choices like Malcolm, Dragon, Angel, Jennifer, and former members of Freak Force?
Now, I'm not going to lie. I think about this question a lot. It mostly defines my life right now.
So let's hear it.
Well, see, when the Savage Dragon video game, there are really only three options, maybe a fourth if you want to get really wacky.
Uh-huh.
You can do your side-scrolling beat-em-up, like your classic Ninja Turtles and X-Men side-scrolling beat-em-ups from the arcades.
Right.
Those games, with that sort of game type, you get opportunity to like use your cast. You could have like up to 4 to 6 players, and you can have beat up all the butt uglies you want.
Okay.
I don't like beat 'em ups. The problem with beat 'em ups.
Communist.
Well, the problem with beat 'em ups is the way the games were designed is they're designed to be quarter munchers. The beat 'em up doesn't really work outside of the arcade setting because once you have
Tell that to anyone with friends.
Once you have unlimited continues, you basically can just brute force your way through. And except for the visuals, there isn't a lot of enjoyment to be found, in my opinion.
Oh, get out of here! You've never played Contra, then?
No, Contra.
Yeah.
Contra is not a side-scrolling beat 'em ups. Contra is a action platformer, which is my second point.
Video game nerds.
The other way to do a Savage Dragon video game is an action platformer like Mega Man or Castlevania or Contra. those games where basically level design, where you can maneuver through the level, have lots of obstacles, lots of enemies, bosses, keep the action flowing, and have like. See, I kind of envision a Savage Dragon game would be an action platformer like that. In actually almost a Mega Man-esque way. Basically, the way you would do it is you'd have Savage Dragon would be your character, and he has certain attributes. He can jump high, he punches hard, and then you have a character select screen where basically you pick your vicious circle goon to go after, like Octopus or Mako or who are the others? I had some others. Anyway, a whole bunch of open face. And you go into levels that are themed after those villains, and you go through the level, and then you beat up the boss, and then you rescue one of the Freak Force members, and now you can switch between Dragon and that Freak Force member. Like, you go rescue Rapture, and now you can switch back and forth between...
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I remember those games a lot, like, on Nintendo, like Silver Surfer was like that, and stuff like that, I feel like. See,
what I sort of envision is the Savage Dragon video game we never got in 1992. is the game that I would make.
But I always feel like the regular bad guys are like the crummiest bad guys. Besides, the bosses are cool, but the bad guys are always so lame. Like the regular beat 'em up guys, like going through the level.
And that's what is cool about Savage Dragon is actually you have a generic breed of uglies, like the uglies.
A whole army of low blows of different colors.
I'm just saying you could do it. It would work. I gotta throw my hat behind the side-scrolling Ninja Turtles arcade style beat 'em up. I mean,
have you ever played the NES Ninja Turtles game?
Yeah.
The one where you have the four
they
turtles.
Swim and stuff.
Yeah, and you can switch between them. See, that game, a lot of people hate that game because it's not a beat 'em up like the ones that followed, like the Ninja Turtles arcade game. Every other Turtles game after that was a side-scrolling beat 'em up. But the first one was a platformer. And in that game, you had the four turtles, and they all their weapons did different things. They did more damage, or they had more reach, and you could switch between them at will. And I always thought that was a very cool mechanic. And I think in a Savage Dragon video game, that could also work.
Well, I know you said you hated those quarter munchers, but man, when I was a kid, that Ninja Turtle game, or the X-Men game, or the Simpsons game,
they're great.
Just take all my money,
great
please.
In the arcade when you have like 5 quarters, and you have to like really concentrate to not lose all your quarters. But when you have infinite continues on a home console, it loses all challenge.
Here's the thing, though. If you're not creative, there was a beat 'em up called Guardian Heroes. Did you play it? Either of you?
I'm aware of Guardian Heroes, and yes, that's a pretty good one.
All right, here's the scrub. It's a beat 'em up, just like Ninja Turtles, just like Simpsons Arcade, just like that. Here's where the replay comes through. It's the easiest thing in the world. Multiple paths, multiple endings.
Right.
You play that game, you go one way based on your decision. You're never going to even see certain bosses, certain levels, none of that stuff.
Right.
You might go, basically you can branch 3 ways. You can go all the way up to heaven and kick God's ass. You can go all the way down to hell and kick the devil's ass. Or you can go straight and beat
Stephen
the ruler.
Hawking's ass.
Well,
sorry, I meant to say Richard Dawkins. Sorry. Sorry, Steve, I love you.
I do not care for you, Jim. You have made me mad. No, it's just, I don't know. I'm saying that you can do it. It can be done. It's not some, I don't know why it has to be a mystery. It's so easy to do. And with Savage Dragon, there are so many alternate dimensions and parallel worlds, and you could make a game that would be a side-scrolling beat 'em up that would have replay. Yeah. It would be fine.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying usually they don't.
Hey, hold up. Raven, can you do your Stephen Hawkins impersonation again?
Beep boop, I'm Stephen Hawkins.
In another dimension, Jim is cool.
That's the worst ever.
It's not very good.
He's smarter than me, so it's all good.
Is.
He wins.
All right, can I put my 2 cents in?
Yes.
The guy hasn't played video
all
games.
Quarters.
Yeah, my quarter eating stuff. I envision, when I read this question in my head, it was my favorite one of my favorite games was Marvel Heroes versus Capcom.
Yes.
On my PS2.
That's your third option.
Which was the last console I ever owned. and I still have.
You still have
But
your
never
copy
Still a
of,
legend.
You still have your copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Yes.
That is actually a semi-valuable game because it's not really available anywhere else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
Hold on to it.
it was ported to 360 through their marketplace, but it got pulled recently because the license lapsed. So your copy is once again valuable commodity.
I used to play it all the time, but I picture that, and I picture how cool things could be, like Glum in an armored suit, similar to like how Mega Man was, or have Bludgeon the size of like Juggernaut or something like that, or.
And that's that was what I was going to say. The third option is fighting game.
Yeah, that I think
got
would
such
be cool
a
as hell.
huge cast. There's actually a funny thing. There's this fighting game system called Mugen, which is like an open source fighting game engine. Basically, if you have the inclination and the talent, you can basically create a character, create his animation.
Capcom style.
Yeah, Capcom style.
Yeah.
Build his moves, build his hitboxes, and basically import it into this free open frame fighting game system. There's all sorts of stuff. They got all your major superheroes. Your Superman, your Spider-Man, your I saw Hawkman. That was a really good figure. I went searching to see if anyone had actually done a Savage Dragon character for it. They haven't.
Really?
But there is a Spawn.
Get out of here, Spawn. Wasn't Spawn in Killer Instinct at one point or something?
No, he was in.
He was in Soul Calibur.
He was in
That's
Soul
it,
Calibur.
yeah. Soul Calibur
3.
Yeah,
that's a bit,
as a
Spawn was on
Xbox
PlayStation.
exclusive.
Was it Xbox?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. PlayStation had Hayachi from Tekken, and Nintendo.
They got boned.
GameCube got
Link
from Zelda. So yeah, they all had the different platforms all had exclusives, and yes, Spawn was the Xbox one.
I'm just saying, imagine like Mother Mayhem in that kind of Capcom game.
And you know what? Spawn might be in Mortal Kombat 10.
Oh, really?
That's a rumor going around.
Really?
Him and Freddy Krueger.
Freddy was in that other game, wasn't
Freddy
he?
Freddy was in Mortal Kombat 9.
So we might finally get to play Spawn versus Freddy.
Yes.
Fantastic. I want to make sure that we don't not answer the question exactly, because we kind of talked about what game we would play. I do want to say, because the question specifically says what characters would we want in the type of game. And it can't be Malcolm, Dragon Angel, Jennifer, or former Freak Force. So that's an interesting question. I just got to say, as long as you have like Super Patriot.
Super Patriot. Ba-doom.
Yeah.
Question over.
Yeah.
Imagine he does like a super combo.
Make a Super Patriot video game.
Rita Meter Maid. As Red Star.
There you go.
Or
Boom.
Just a Meter Maid.
You can't forget Vanguard and Wally.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Rex
but
Dexter.
Like you said, Glum in his armor.
Yeah.
Do you know? If Craig, you say you played these games, they actually have characters that play in mech suits.
Yeah, like Mega Man and stuff like that, right?
Did you see like Tronbon, like the little girl piloting the giant robot?
Doesn't Mega Man? Oh yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking about. She's part of Mega Man, right? Or no?
Yes.
She is a Mega Man character.
You can like knock her out of her suit and stuff.
Genius! It works so good. Just having knockable, you can knock him out of his little suit, and he's got to run back to it.
Well, I think of like Vanguard. You could have Wally like behind him, kind of shooting eye beams.
Yeah, that actually Vanguard Wally would be a really good like two character, single character where some moves Vanguard does and some moves Wally does, and then you can like, there's other fighting games that like whole mechanics are built around like dual characters like that. There's a lot.
Or like there's that one just Injustice Gods Among Us where like Batman can like summon the Batmobile and it'll like come out and hit the other guy. I would imagine like Flash Mercury, like he like jumps up in the air and like the Flash Mercury mobile just slams into the other dude
and then takes off. Yeah.
Awesome.
Or how about She-Dragon in her power gloves? That would be pretty sweet.
That would
get knocked off.
There's just so many characters. It would make a really good fighting game lineup.
Fighting game. If you don't go beat 'em up, fighting game.
Yeah.
Now, of course, then your fourth option, your classic turn-based role-playing game where you play Savage Dragon going through the streets of Chicago, having random battles, building his XP to make it to the top to fight Overlord.
You didn't want to say dating sim? Dating
sim also a possibility. That's more for Malcolm though.
We'll have Angel join in bed. Yes, no.
Okay, I think this segment's over.
Going off the rails. Don't let me start on my my Savage Dragon top-down shooter.
Okay, I won't.
Oh, good one. Good question.
It was a good question. Thanks, John, for asking it. That was a lot of fun. So Guy LeMay, Andrew D'Entremont, and Will Poe also sent in questions. We're just going to try to limit to one question an episode, maybe two once in a while, but we'll save the questions that were sent in for possible future episodes. You guys can also feel free to send in new questions for other episodes. Everyone who sent in either a response to last episode's question or sent in a new question for us has been entered into our drawing to win this month's prize, which is there's actually two things. This is the last time we're giving out a comic prize, but I did promise I'd give out the rare second printing of Savage Dragon 100. And on top of that, the new thing for this year is that we're giving away the limited edition Malcolm Dragon shirt, which we talked about earlier. And we're only doing one shirt per person per month, so they're ultra limited. So I put everyone's name into a hat. Actually, I used a random number generator, and John Panozzi is the winner of this month's drawing. So, John, if you can contact us at SavageFINcast@gmail.com with your address and T-shirt size.
And color preference, please.
And your color preference of shirts. Is there? There's probably a limited color.
There is a limited palette. I will actually make that available like on dragonfan.net, but also I'll get in touch with John whenever he gets in touch with you, and I'll let him know what his options are for colors. They're going to be produced through screen, so they'll be comparable to the official Savage Dragon t-shirt quality. So if you're a fan of those, you'll like these.
Nice. So remember, send your questions, your new questions or your opinions on the video game question that was just posed to SavageFINcast@gmail.com. And everyone who submits something to us will be entered into the drawing, whether we read your question or not. You will be submitted in. So have fun with it, and we hope we read your question next.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it a lot.
Cool. So shall we get into the meat of the episode, the whole reason why we're here?
202. First of all, I got to say this is a great cover.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely stupendous.
I agree, and I think it sets up, I think if Erik was still doing kind of titles for each kind of book, this one would be called like Girl Trouble or something like that, because
absolutely
it's all focused on the females.
I love negative space. I mean, the use of it here is fantastic, which I think digital guys got gray. Is that right, Jim?
Mine's white, but
yours is white.
But that might be my comp copy.
Yeah,
maybe it was gray in the final.
Yeah.
In fact,
okay.
Maybe I'll double check that for curiosity's sake.
Yeah, it's an awesome cover. It's absolutely fantastic. And this issue was awesome. This was a good issue. I like this.
I think, to start it off, this was one of Erik's experiment issues, the 9-panel per page.
I gotta say, I didn't pick up on that in my first read through. I had to be reminded, and it was I think I was impressed with how unnoticeable it was, because it was kind of just comics. It was just, you can do it this way, and it's fine.
Yeah, right. I'd forgotten, because it didn't seem like all tiny and cramped.
And for the listeners, there's a backstory to this.
Yeah.
This was one of those Batman slapping Robin memes that are all over the internet, all the rage.
With the kids today.
On this particular one, it shows Robin reading a comic book script, and it says, page 1, 9 panels, panel 1, big shot. And then, of course, it's Batman slapping Robin, and Batman saying there are no big shots on a 9-panel page. And really, the person who created that meme's thinking 9-panel page in the traditional sense, a 3x3 square layout. But
Alan Moore has lied to him.
Yeah. Erik's response to this is you can have 9 panels on a page and they don't have to be a 3x3 grid. And he's kind of proven this where, he's got 9 panels on every page and they're all, I think there's one page that was a 3x3 grid. And besides that, everything else was, all sorts of different shapes, but still 9 panels.
Yeah, what was impressive.
Not shapes, but sizes, I should say. Sorry.
What was impressive is sometimes there would even be, it felt like 2 or 3 big shots, 2 or 3 big panels. So it's kind of like impressive to work a 9-panel page like that.
Yeah, yeah. And I think these kind of 9 panels per page really help with kind of the flow of, when you're trying to get a lot of when you're not having major fight scenes. It works both ways. I mean, they're awesome in major fight scenes because you can show a lot of little things happening rather than just one big panel with one huge punch, which also, is cool sometimes as well. But I like seeing all the little, and we'll get into it as we go on, but all the little kind of details of a fight. And then also, all the details of, people just having a normal conversation. Kind of, you get the back and forth and everything, and it really makes the book feel like, a good amount of reading in it. And there was a lot of text.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't at one point Erik say that, or he showed on Facebook that Chris kind of put in Chris Eliopoulos lettered the whole comic and sent it back to Erik and was like, basically this ain't gonna work. There was like way too much text and like trying to fit it all in the panels, and Erik had to cut back.
Really?
Which is funny because, go on the Facebook page and you'll see the original stuff, and it's funny because just like you can't see. Like Maxine standing on the snowball was the page that made it to Facebook, or one of them. And like she's standing on the snowball talking to Malcolm, and that page, like you couldn't really even tell like what she was doing or where she was standing.
You could see like 10% of the whole panel. Yeah. The rest was just speech bubble.
Which is funny because the dialogue doesn't feel cut down or anything.
No, and there's a lot of it. So it doesn't seem like, how much more could there possibly have been?
Oh, dude, it was crazy. But I was still like, it was funny because it didn't read. You weren't reading it and being like, yakka, schmacka, schmacka. It was just the choice of words, like he basically conveys the same information without using as much words. So it's funny. It's an interesting thing as part of this whole experiment to check out.
I do like, with these 9 panels, you get a lot of kind of shots on a whole bunch of characters. Like pretty much all of the Vicious Circle goons get their own panel at one point or another. Mm-hmm. And just to run down for kind of the listener and for our own kind of use, I guess, I'm just going to go through all the villains. It looks like Dart's kind of keeping it almost like a woman-run Vicious Circle. Like all of her kind of lieutenants, if you want to call them that, are all kind of women now.
I wonder if that was a happy accident because of how many have been, dying and losing their powers lately.
But there's still major kind of men that are out there, like what's his name, Brute or whatever. Is that his name? There's a couple of
Braun,
like Braun, yeah, Braun. Like
didn't Braun get his like Bert? No, he showed up recently though, right?
Yeah, he did show up recently.
He got punched out like an issue ago.
There's still like some prominent guys that are still around, but this issue, it's funny. It's there's a lot of the women that showed up in issue 146, which was like that issue right after Dragon like joined the police force,
right?
Which was like in the strip club and stuff, and there was like a lot of people made their first appearance, like Raptor and Samurai, who's in this issue. Insect is in this issue. And then you got Vane, who's been around for a while. Volcanic's been around for a while. Heavy Flow's been around for a while. And then Double Page is kind of new. Tigress, Climax. I think Climax has been around for a while, but I'm not sure. But yeah, a lot of Vicious Circle goons in this issue, and they all happen to be women, which is kind of cool.
Plus, these are cool because even though they're like, there's really like it showcases kind of the more interesting like design work going on. Like there's been so many like issues preceding this that had like the uglies, just generic uglies.
Yeah.
Right. There's no generic ugly women.
Yeah, this is awesome because these are all like, kind of thoughtfully designed characters. So.
Yeah.
I like the fire-headed one.
That's Climax.
Yeah. Oh, that's Climax?
Yep. think samurai's kind of costume is weird. Like, not what I think of when I think of a samurai, but
More of a ninja, really.
yeah, and it's got a kind of a cool mask.
Kinda
Raptors
like Girl Casey Jones.
that. Here you go. Bug's costume is really cool.
Which one is Bug the one with the red eyes?
Yeah.
Or
That's
I
a
guess
cool
her name's
design.
not Bug. Is it Insect?
It might
I
be
think at one point
Insect.
it was. Yeah, it was at one point. I think it was like Bug Lady when she was just kind of a throwaway character, and her changed the name or something.
Wonder if
She's
that's
got a great look.
I wonder if that's a suit.
It's gotta be. It looks like it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine it's. Yeah, I mean, I think it is. Because that's kind of like metal over the mouth and the head, right?
Something like
Maybe
that.
she's
or
a
latex.
more bug-like underneath.
Maybe.
Vane. Oh, I always thought Vane was such a crazy ass character. I don't know. It's just good. It's cool to see all these interesting Larsen designs.
Well,
You know, like you said.
her asymmetric mask is very unique.
You think
Yeah,
underneath
yeah.
her mask she's all veiny?
I'm gonna assume if she was hot, you wouldn't see it. Wouldn't be covered up, right?
I don't know. Her chin, you can see that. It's kind of hot. No, I'm just kidding.
Look at that hot.
You got a hot chin. Are you Vicky Vale? Oh, it's great. No, it's cool. You don't see it's like a Phantom of the Opera kind of a thing.
yeah,
I don't know.
that's what it is. Kind of like that half mask thing.
Wonder if Eric ever forgets what side it's on.
I would.
I'm sure he probably has.
I like the idea though of like their plan is to upgrade, which is super. Of course, you know, we won't spoil it just yet, but like the idea that Dart wants to use Belko to upgrade is fantastic. I think I was
Right.
talking about how when her shark powers appeared, I thought upgrading your characters is awesome.
Yeah.
So I
Well-
was really excited at the beginning.
I don't know.
There's
If I was
like-
already a super freak, I'd be more worried about being more super freak.
If it,
I mean, I
you
guess
get the idea that
I guess if power and greed your only goal, maybe.
just get the feeling that like with Belko it would be more controlled. Like, don't you think sort of all of them sort of like accidentally became kind of how they are?
True.
And then like if they went to Belko, it'd be like, you know, make me fly. I want laser eyes. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Hell, I don't know.
I want laser eyes.
Just like Fredzilla. You guys watch Big
Say
Hero
that every
6?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's good. You should see that movie. It's good.
I
Basically, a
will.
character obsesses about being a superhero.
I just like big fat white robot.
Yeah. Baymax, yeah, he's a good character too. Good cast. Anyway,
Yeah, it's good though. I like the whole Maxine Malcolm, you know, dynamic here. Their little conversation. It's kind of like, what the hell was she thinking by inviting Tierra? We're like, would you really want Tierra around?
this scene is kind of funny to me because it almost feels like Eric's bringing the internet argument to the page.
One thing that I forgot that this kind of scene brought back was, you know, before Maxine and Malcolm were even dating, like Angel and Maxine and Tierra were all good friends.
Right.
So that's the other thing. It's like, you know, they're kind of were good friends, and she's got no place to live. So the argument makes sense.
Yeah. I forgot Tierra was friends with him. It just feels like she came out of nowhere to be a total cunt, but
I do like the little details Eric does here with actually putting like snow on the heels of Maxine's boots, which I would never think to do. But
Yeah.
Eric-
Where she's yeah. Of course, I find it
Yeah.
funny they're like on the roof making snowmen. I wonder if that's something that actually happens in the city.
I don't.
what do you
I
mean?
don't
Like yeah, people have roof decks. Like I live in Philly. Like
Yeah.
all these houses have roof decks.
Oh.
A lot of times, like my house doesn't have a backyard. I don't have a roof deck, but all the new houses being built do.
So you can just get up on your roof anytime?
Yeah,
Cool. I've never lived anywhere where you could. So.
yeah. All the houses, like most of the 3-story apartments here, row homes here, all have roof decks, and people barbecue and stuff on. It's like having a deck instead of, you know,
Yeah.
in your backyard. It's on your roof.
Neat.
That makes sense, yeah. I want to give props to the coloring on this. I really like how the coloring adds like that extra depth of snow to it.
I love that.
Yeah.
See, that's a sky color I can get behind.
You don't like the yellow, right? Was it
Yeah,
the
if
yellow?
it was yellow, it looked like they were in pea snow.
Old Pea Snow. Old Pea Snow, Chicago.
So this I kind of crack up about this, like the whole thing where they put the video of the threesome on the speed rate. He put on a disc labeled Speed Racer, or Maxine did it.
Never gonna watch it.
But he just loaded it up in the DVD. Did he just like run out as fast as he loaded it in?
Or he probably just handed it to her and he's like, here you go, watch this.
All right, I can see that.
Here's Speed Racer, it's awesome.
Should have put on Frozen.
I gotta admit, I didn't see this coming. I thought it was kind of done after 200.
You didn't see this coming?
I really didn't either.
Really? I'm pretty sure I
swear
said I did.
That's because you're pervy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a perv. Speaking of perv, you know what's awesome?
What?
Cunnilingus. You don't know what cunnilingus is?
Yes.
Okay.
I like how you just asked me that, though.
Just check. I'm not sure if everyone knows the proper vocabulary.
Greg just goes, yes. I love this. I didn't see it coming. I mean, maybe I'm a dope, but like, I didn't see it coming.
No,
and
I figured it was kind of done. Like, I don't know.
It never ends, Craig.
Yeah, I didn't think he would go
It'll
back
never
there.
end.
I thought it was a funny twist. I know a lot of people got the knickers in a twist, but...
And that drives me crazy, too. Like...
I don't see where the upsetness comes from.
I don't know. I think the upset isn't the sex. I think it's important to keep that. The problem isn't that they're having sex. The problem is that Malcolm and Angel are siblings.
Do you really think that's the problem?
I
heard
think that is the bigger problem overall.
I think people are
that's
just
the uncomfortable part.
I think people are just generically complaining about sex, though.
I also think some people might have hang-ups about monogamy.
Referring to the issue number 200 as the threesome issue,
right?
That is reductive. Like, I broke down the numbers. The last 3 issues have been discussions about sex, yes, but there has been very little actual sexual content.
But again, it doesn't necessarily have to be shown. If it's implied, it might make people uncomfortable because many people are uncomfortable with sexuality.
It's sad.
I'm getting that from some of these reviews. It's like people are hung up. But
that's our culture. We're okay with violence. We don't like sex. It's due to our Puritan roots. It's ridiculous.
But see, the thing I don't get is that these people complain. Like Savage Dragon has always been like this. Whether it was, Mason super tough having a gay kiss on a splash page. Or
I bet there was hang-ups about if there was internet back then, there would have been more hang-ups on display.
Dragon boning Alex doggy style, or
like here, take this phone call while I plow your butt.
But see, I think it's important also to keep in mind is these are still teenagers, where Alex and Dragon were adults, and I think.
And can I say something about that? Okay, confession time. I watch and like Glee, so I don't give a shit. I'm sorry. I know that makes me not cool.
Yeah, but you're not cool.
Yeah,
I know.
We're gonna have to ask you to leave
the three
the
of us
FINcast.
isn't the cool one.
I'm sorry, guys. It's been a good run. Here's my microphone. No, but I
turn in your microphone.
I told Stephanie, we were talking about the Savage Dragon sex controversy or whatever, and I was like, well, it's just weird, I said, I guess the hang up is that they're, teens or in high school or whatever. And she said, in season 1 of Glee, one of the cheerleaders gets pregnant. First season of, right? Now, mind you, in that season, they're supposed to be in 10th grade.
Yeah.
So you got to think, this is a 10th grader getting pregnant. I'm just saying there was more naughtiness in Glee than there has been in these last 3 issues. Everyone here
was
is
it
of
cunnilingus everywhere in Glee?
Dude, the one guy was a pool boy nailing MILFs.
Oh.
Like, he had a pool... I'm
Yeah, but
saying,
see, he's a
this is
man,
nothing.
so that makes him cool. But when a woman does it, she's a slut.
Can we replace cunnilingus with rug munching? I'm more comfortable with that term.
I'm a big fan of this, of Tiara tilting Maxine back and her hand going under the skirt. I'm like, go for it, Tiara, go for it. The funny thing, I'm just saying, the funny thing is never, they're all of age. Everyone's of age. Are
they all 18? It's a bit of that nebulous area. It's been a little unclear.
Maxine's out of school.
That's true.
Regardless, they're teenagers.
Angel graduated.
Well,
Angel graduated. Maxine's out of school.
Remember what Chef told us? 17. You guys didn't watch South Park?
I
don't remember that particular episode. No. I'm saying if there's grass on the field, you're good to play. It's I don't see what the controversy is. I'm sorry. Grow up. That's all.
Well, again, what I'm saying is I think the controversy is a larger issue with repressed sexuality in American culture.
But I know before you were saying, oh, it's more about the sister thing. But if you read
that is still kind of a red flag to me.
But I think if you read like the last, they did a story on Bleeding Cool or something about it, and people were like so outraged, and it's like ridiculous because if Mark Millar does it on one of his comics,
but Mark Millar's a fucking hack. Erik should be above the hackitude.
But it's not being a hack to do that. I mean, he's writing about teenagers. This is shit that like teenagers do, and especially like a superpowered teenager that, you know, is
a celebrity.
Yeah,
he's a celebrity. I mean, mind you, his dad saved the world.
Right, so. Within context, it just means that there's motivation and it's believable.
My thing is this. I don't think that if you write that Malcolm not doing this, I don't think that's believable. If Malcolm was like, "Oh, Captain Whitebread," like, "No, ladies, you're not right."
No, that's
monogamy.
That isn't the problem. I have absolutely no problem with Maxine and Malcolm and even Tiara going at it like jackrabbits. My problem is when you include Angel and their relationship and their history, it makes it weird.
But as I'm sure
and
you're
actually,
aware,
I think it hurts Angel's character a lot. The way it seems like she keeps bringing herself back to Malcolm, like she's like she needs it, like she needs him. It like makes her weak as a character because it defines her.
I don't think it's weak to want someone sexually. I don't think that should diminish her character at all.
When she wants the lead character of your comic book, who apparently has a 3-foot long penis.
But they also have a special connection as, you know, people that grew up and care about each other. Like, it's just like one of those things, you know. Even have you ever had a childhood friend who like you just care about them, you know, monogamously, or not monogamously, but platonically, and like you just worry about them and, you know, think about them or whatever. Yeah. Now, what if they were hot? I'm just saying.
Well, they were.
Really I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Think about it. I don't know. For me, it's.
I understand it's a weird element, but I don't think it's something to. I don't know, to complain to the fact that some of these complaints have been. I do
think too. You know, it's funny that nobody seems to have really touched on is that how hard it's been played for laughs.
Yeah.
Like, this is not naughtiness. Somebody was like, I pity readers of Savage Dragon if they buy this material in search of such tripe. And I'm like, whoa, Buster. It's funny, okay? Calm down.
Right.
This is always played for laughs. I don't know if anybody actually read this, but Malcolm almost...
Can you tell me?
Well, it just seems like Malcolm is actually more awkward than probably any of them by everything that's happening. Doesn't he kind of...
Yeah.
Well, he's the youngest and he's the man, and he's the least sexually experienced.
But here's the other thing that's cool. It's like, you know, Maxine is the strong character in this. She's the one that's making the decisions.
That's true.
Yeah.
She's the one that's manipulating.
She's in complete control. Even though she's a normal human, she's bossing these superpowered people around. It's awesome. Everything about this I thought was sweet.
I agree.
The oh God became a punchline after a point.
Yes, and the Mr. Monster condom wrappers.
It's good. And the fact that Malcolm was emasculated by Tierra, he was outgunned by his ex. I don't know. I'm sorry, but it was funnier and more well played than I think people gave it credit for.
I agree. I think there's a lot of shock factor, and I think people are kind of, I don't know. I just don't, like you said, I think people, or whoever said, I think it was Jim said, people are fine with violence, punching someone's head off and blowing it up with a punch. But, a threesome, oh my God, this is juvenile crap. I can't deal with this.
Also, can I just ask you guys, is sexuality juvenile or mature? Because it seems to somehow magically be both.
It is.
Right.
Most things, it is both. It can be used for both.
It's funny, though, that to include it is both too mature and also juvenile. It's who the hell knows. There's a window, apparently, in which you're supposed to enjoy your physical urges, and then you're supposed to shut that window.
Like I said,
live till you die.
Like I said, it's all about the Puritan background of this country.
See, the cool thing is that Savage Dragon is, it's whatever Erik wants it to be. I'm sure if this could fly in DC or Marvel, it would have at one point. Someone would have tried to do something like this.
Oh, it has.
Kind of subtly, like they can't really show it. Like,
I want to say someone pointed out that Nightcrawler had a relationship with his sister once.
Really?
Or a half sister.
But I'm not even talking that. I'm just talking about like these kind of like threesome or foursome scenes or whatever.
Oh, listen, absolutely. Second, would you say corporate comics can't take the kind of risks independent comics can, and this kind of stuff, having the freedom to do it, I mean, it's what reading an indie book's all about. Like,
I don't know.
You're not gonna get permission to have Superman in a threesome. Not gonna happen.
Well, I don't know. DC's been getting a lot of complaints lately about all the sex and violence because it's been going a bit nuts.
But it won't ever get to that degree. There's a certain line that they can't cross with, especially like a character like Superman or, one of their main characters. I mean, it can get racy, yes, but
it can't. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it can't go this far. And it's not even that, it's funny because
this is not even graphic, it's
No. That's what's so funny. The thing that cracks me up is I've seen so many people be like, this is just disgusting. It should have been tasteful. And I'm like, what'd you want? Like a close up of a flower vase and like a petal falls off the flower. And like, what did you want? Like, what kind of wifey porn? I don't get it.
So let's move on to the violence section of our comic.
Marvin Belko is awesome.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing about Marvin Belko before? Sorry, I don't want to jump in, but wasn't his name? His daughter's name was Belinda Bell. So is that like? Did Erik screw up? Is his name supposed to be Marvin Bell? I was thinking Belko is the.
I said it wrong.
No, because he calls himself Belko after.
I thought, but
we'll see. There's a scene where
exceedingly good question.
He refers to himself as Marvin Belko later on in the issue. So I was just wondering if that was a typo, or I always thought Belko was like Bell Company Belko, because when we were introduced to Belinda's daughter, it was Belinda Bell.
Belko.
So anyway, sorry, didn't mean to. Go ahead.
No, that's a great point. I think I don't remember what she said. I love his idea, though. I love the idea that he's like, oh, the solution to this is superpowers. Like, it's fantastic.
Like a crazy old man would. I thought for sure he was just going to fry himself and just be dead.
That just comes back. The next panel's his skeleton in that bed.
Whoops.
Yeah, that would be classic Larsen.
For Zach. It's just his skeleton. This page, can I just say, when Larsen did that thing where he put the black and white panels on to show you the layouts.
Yeah.
And I am amazed that this page with Belko laying in the bed read as well as it did, because when you see the black and white panels of it, it doesn't look like it should read good.
You're saying when he was showing you like just the panel layout without anything in the panels.
Yeah, like where it's the smaller and smaller like L shapes or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not it.
It's not this one. It's
Well,
coming
this
up.
one's got a weird thing where it's got that long vertical panel that you got to read all the way to the bottom and then go back up.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not sure if that's a comic layout crime or not. I think it's frowned upon by the community.
Ooh, you know what I will tell you though, dude, I don't mean to pick on you, but like that is frowned upon amongst digital device readers, because I tried that shit in my book,
Right.
and people were like, I don't understand this page. And I'm like, well, dude, you read the words till the panel's got no words, and then you read the next panel. And he was like, yeah, but it's weird. And I was like, you must have like be reading this on your phone or something.
Because they're not scrolling all the way, right? So they're
that's what it was. Like it confused them, and I realized immediately that it was like because there were words at the bottom of a long panel.
right.
So I think on the printed page that ain't no thing, but I think like on digital devices people don't like that.
Well, it works fine on my digital device because I can see the whole page, but I could see that being a problem if you were scrolling up and down like a Neanderthal.
I've had people complain. Like a Neanderthal, you say?
Yes.
So catty.
I like the Asian guy that always calls Melvin sir, and then he always has to correct him and say Melvin.
When he said Excelsior, don't you hear him in your brain as Stan Lee now?
I don't think it's humanly possible not to.
Onward and upward, true believer.
I like how Melvin's like, why not? We could all become superhuman. It could be a perk, part of our benefits package.
Yeah.
Apparently, he hasn't visited the danger zone very often.
Frazak.
The panel I was talking about where it's like decreasing L shapes is the one where Malcolm's in bed with all three girls at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, see how it's decreasing L shapes?
Yes.
And I didn't think that was going to read good at all. Like when I saw that, I was like, whoa, how the hell? But it works amazingly. It works amazingly clear.
There's the weird panel when Angel, well, it's a whole page. It's weird. I'm a little confused by the layout of the scene where Angel walks into the apartment. Mm-hmm. And you see she just walks in the door and she sees Tierra, Maxine, and Dragon, or maybe she doesn't. Maybe it's just them hearing her.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's in the hallway. No, she's standing in the hallway. We're looking through the open door in the first panel, and then in the fifth panel, she's closed the door behind her.
Yeah.
That is also how I took it.
But what's the middle?
That's
the
them
middle panel.
Seeing her having opened the door.
See, I don't get that. That's what I thought at first, but it doesn't make sense. I think that's them hearing it in the bedroom and being like, "Oh shit."
They're not. No, this is. I believe this is a one-room apartment.
No, because look down at the bottom panels.
Oh, valid point.
That's what I was confused at. At first, I was like, "Oh, maybe she saw them."
Or maybe she's in the apartment and she's opened the bedroom door.
I feel like she hears something, and then they kind of like the middle three panels is them being like they heard the door close behind them.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So they came out of the bedroom and see her there, and then they bring her into the bedroom.
Okay. I see what you're saying. That makes sense.
But I was really confused at first.
Okay, I think what's making it weird is that you see Malcolm in that one shot, but then you don't see him again. So the girls went and got her while he stayed in the bedroom.
That's the only way I could think of it, because otherwise there's no, like, you can see the hall in that last panel.
Right.
Like, at first I thought she was looking right at him.
Yeah.
Hold on, read what Maxine says right in the middle of the page.
She has a key. What? Does she has a key? Or?
Well, they could be hearing her exclaim.
Just roll with it.
What?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, you. No, I'm with you. I'm a little confused myself now that you said it, but I didn't think of it when I read it initially.
I didn't. It was like on my third reread to prep for the podcast. I was like, how can I make a big deal about nothing?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I don't know. He had said at one point he was going to make a layout, like a map of Malcolm's apartment,
Yeah.
so that it had more physical space. It made more physical space like sense. So maybe this was pre-physical map. I don't know.
Gotcha. It was a great scene when the VC busts into the Belco chemicals. I like that page.
Everyone likes skeletons.
Now there is your just skeletons.
Volcanic always barfing on people.
Yeah, man, this is good stuff. I dig it. I dig that Heavy Flow made it into this issue too.
She's only
Fantastic.
had
The
one
internet
panel previously, right?
The internet loves her.
What, Heavy
Every
Flow?
time every time someone sees like that, they're like, "Oh my God, what's this from?" Every time. I saw a thing on like Imgur or whatever you call it, and it was just her, shooting Brappa Lorch all over someone, and so it was like, "I must read this comic 5 copies now."
You're gonna be a little disappointed because this is one panel.
I know.
She goes out with a Brappa Lorch.
Yeah. I was like, when I read that, I was like, "Oh, Craig's favorite sound effect."
Well, doesn't Dung still make a Brappa Lorch out of his dung cannons?
He does.
He does, doesn't he? Fantastic. I think.
Right now,
that,
the listeners are like, "What the hell is Brappa Lorch? What the hell is he talking about?"
And who's this Dung? I like the twist. I know that not everybody did, but I like the twist that Tierra is somewhat obsessed. I like that because it's kind of like I had kind of written her off, really, especially where she's got the kid now and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of a cool twist to have her like
Be a super
she's
villain?
like, yeah, she's like a normal villain. Like, how often does this book have normal people who are pains in the asses?
Some of my favorite things about the old Savage Dragon was when there was like a soap opera kind of going on in the background. There was a lot of superhero heroics, but there was like a soap opera. Like Dragon was dating a lot of different people, and it was kind of cool. And I like how we're kind of getting back to that again, where there's things going on in his normal life on top of having to deal with crazy villains like Dart.
Well, also, I know a lot of people, I don't know, like when you complain about the whole like sex thing or whatever, I think it's really a good way to bring it in the fact that like, Malcolm's shenanigans have consequences, I mean, he's indulging, scratching that itch, and now there's a little bit of hell to pay. So it's not really like he's just getting to live the good life, he's kind of messing up a little bit.
Can I say that this is probably the most racially diverse comic?
Yeah. Co-signed. I can't think of another one. Walking Dead, maybe?
Maybe.
It's got a lot. It's got a lot of diversity.
All right, let's say superhero comic then.
Oh, you got me. Okay.
I do like when Maxine just wallops Tiara in the face.
Yeah. Which, again, I like Maxine, so for me, I was like, hell yeah. Kick her ass. It's a great punch.
It is.
The super punch.
Good follow through.
And there was another great scene where Dragon and
Angel.
do we call her Battle Girl or Angel?
Don't they bring that up in this issue?
Yeah.
Malcolm says, Battle Girl's too good for the SOS.
Beating the crap out of the
Yeah, you want your big panel.
PC. I like how they show Malcolm again catching all the darts from Dart, like in his teeth and his fingers, like emphasizing he's got that kind of quick reflex.
Yeah, I love how that dart thing just does not work for her.
He just
Think
fires
she
them
would
back
stop.
at her.
This next page, all right, the whole like people losing their power sequence, I wanted to cry. I was like, no, because we were just talking about how awesome all these characters were, and I was like, damn it, no.
It's a great page because there's a juxtaposition between one guy gaining superpowers and a couple villains losing superpowers.
The absolute best one is how Tigress is a cat.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Do you remember when Erik did that in issue 75 with Weed?
Oh, that's right. He was a plant.
Yeah, the nega bomb went off and he just turned into like a houseplant.
I didn't see it coming.
My favorite thing about like Savage Dragon is when people get like superpowers, they get like costumes with it. So
Right.
Marvin Belko gets the, purple tights and boots.
I think that's just a side effect.
Bring me some boots and pants, quickly, my lads. Yeah, I like how his head is old too. His head, he's just got old man head on muscle man body,
I love that panel though. He's just like, tremble at the unmatched might of the new and improved Melvin Belko. Oh, and in case that doesn't do the job, here's the Belko security team armed with Freakout.
And then you get the heartbreak. I was like, no. The God Sword. Yeah. And then we lose Heavy Flow. I was like, oh no.
One last, I do love Marvin Belko just going glub as he just gets slammed in the face with some blood.
And even I know it's like blood. Probably the smallest, most subtle thing, but do you see how she's less fat?
Yep.
In the panel where she's got freak out. I love that she's less fat. Like that was somehow part of her powers.
Is that what happened though? Like she got hit with the freak out dart, and so she wasn't as strong. So when he punched her, he just blew her head up.
I think the flow just cut off, and so he overcompensated.
I want to say that the forum I ran it by, and Erik actually said that he didn't think that Belko had murderous intent. So I'm gonna say that it's a Solar Man style thing where she was hit with freak out and he hit her.
Yeah.
And that's all she wrote. Because clearly she's smaller. I mean, look at her body.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think just a combination of freak out and getting hit by the new and improved Marvin Belko.
So we lose Raptor and Climax. They become humans. Tigress becomes a cat. Heavy Flow becomes a puddle of blood.
Belko gets decapitated. And I'm sorry, I know he was barely in the series, but I mourn that loss.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I'm actually slightly more disappointed about him going than the next thing that's going, because like I was saying many times in the past now, I liked how Belko finally had a face.
Yeah.
And now it only has a decapitated head.
I thought he had so much potential as a plot driving device.
Right.
So to see him just like snuffed out so quick, I'm like, oh.
Well, that's not to say that, his daughter won't take over or somebody else.
Also he's a kind of a kooky mad scientist character. So
right.
I mean, when he was thrown out of the window.
Scruples.
Yeah, well, I could see him being a head in a jar or something crazy. I mean, really, it's not the end of him necessarily.
Yeah, look at his lab. And that was one of the things they said too. Like when their lab got broken into, a bunch of his creations escaped. They mentioned something about that. So I wonder if we're gonna see any of that in the future of Savage Dragon.
It does seem like a great seed that was plotted. A little Belko monsters are on the loose now, on top of everything else Belko Chemicals has done to Chicago.
So Dart's got her God Sword again, so she's cutting heads off left and right. Poor John Day doesn't stand a chance. On top of Melvin. But one thing I thought was interesting is, they shot Dart with a dart with Freak Out, and so she's not a shark anymore, but one of the things I was writing down in my notes for the show was what Dragon and Malcolm says. He's like, well, no more Shark Lady. What else is gone? Uncanny aim, inhuman strength, agility, grace. What did that freak out take away? So he doesn't know. I mean, I thought it was always like she was just kind of a peak human. She's just.
Yeah, I think Malcolm's guessing.
Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry.
Dart seems like really overly concerned, which seems odd.
Yeah.
other than just the shark powers, I think I don't know. It just kind of seems like after getting hit, she became like more worried than you'd think she would be, since in the past she managed to hold her own just fine.
Well, I'm just wondering if we had it wrong all this time, and maybe she really does have some kind of freak power that gives her uncanny aim or agility, and just...
Well, actually,
I don't know.
I think someone else brought this up, and I think I picked up on it. Do you remember when she killed the little wise guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she, like, drink their blood to become immortal?
Yeah.
Wasn't that, like, the whole plot point there?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta wonder if Freak Out may have undone that.
I would have to assume so. I would think that's an unnatural thing. Is it Freak Out's whole shtick? Is it just reduces you to your birth state?
Right. Lava Lady here comments.
But telling the little wise guys just means she just would age now. It didn't give her, like, super strength or agility.
No, that's right. It would just give her, Oh, that's right. I guess it would be no aging. So I guess, yeah, that's a good point.
I want to say I felt like she was a peak human too. I always think, isn't that a thing? Like, aren't villains like, you ain't got no powers or something like that?
Right.
Is that like a taunt that is hurled her way?
I think so. With that, and you're gonna throw a dart at me?
and I mean, she leaves by leaping out the hole in the wall. I mean, she still seems pretty agile to me.
Yeah.
Also, we learn that Samurai goes commando.
Yep.
Nice.
So that's Samurai Commando. Awesome. Totally awesome. All in all, I'm just going to say, pour one out for shark powers, pour one out for Belko. If these things are things that are actually gone, it makes me weep a little because I wanted to see more of both.
It's really weird that he gave her shark powers for one issue to take him away.
On the one hand, you do have the, haha, you thought these were going to be around a while. Psych! There's that element.
Right.
So if they're gone as quick as they came almost,
yeah,
it is kind of a thing where it's like, well, that could happen too.
But then it becomes like a literal get out of jail free card for the one time.
Yeah. I don't know that I love it, but it's all good. I tell you what it is it's just one of those, well, hell, it's extremely interesting because in the little Q&A, he was like, does she have jars of wise guy blood laying around? Like, what's her game, so.
Right.
Also, just because Belko's dead doesn't mean that there aren't scientists and whatnot.
Didn't you say you had a daughter?
Yeah. She was in, if you remember back in, was it the 140s or something? Like the one where Adam Archer first appeared was her first appearance. That was the whole thing with the Uglies Unlimited were trying to kidnap her because Belko was leaking chemicals into the water, turning people into freaks and then selling their freak out.
Huh.
But they accidentally got Amy instead.
Right.
So they really are kind of bad guys, as much as in this issue they kind of come off as good guys.
Who, Belko?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Clearly they're out of control. So, and I don't know, it's funny. I mean, it's funny because these feel like, oh no, but you never know. You really have no idea what could still yet happen. Dark could have a vial of Mako blood and little wise guy blood. I mean, bling blong, she's got her powers back, so I doubt it. But I mean, I'm just saying, you never know. Anything can happen.
Right.
So there comes the resolution, which is to say basically that Malcolm's like, yo, all this fooling around is super gross. I'm tired of it. I want you and only you, baby.
I represent the internet.
Now, I have to ask, do you really think that was a, hey, whoa, look, guys, this is not happening? Do you think it was that thing? Or do you think those seeds were planted all along?
Like I said,
because
it's never going to end.
Do you think that's the real Speed Racer CD that he DVD threw in, and he's saving the other one for the old Spank Bank?
No, but I doubt it's the only copy.
I'm going to go Spank Bank.
Yeah, I don't. There's still that issue. Was it 204 solicitation, which shows Angel punching Malcolm?
Quite angry. No, I'm fairly certain Tiara made a copy, and the internet's about to get some viral videos.
Ooh, that would be damning.
Yeah, not great.
It's a good thing to have in the mix. I mean, you got to understand, like, it's a burnt CD, so that means there's a digital version somewhere. So you'd assume.
We will see.
The thing is that talking about like Malcolm's commitment being a bit of a backpedal. I feel like it was always the seed planted that he may not have been entirely down with this.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, he always has that kind of weird look on his face whenever all this is starting to go down. And he even had that one sequence where he's like, look, I'm still not sure if I'm okay with this. Ugh, no guys. And I'm like, there you go. Like,
See, that was the worst part. Totally should have had a guy. Then I could respect this whole relationship thing. Because then he's a hypocrite.
Who would he be?
There is no one. That's the problem. He doesn't have any guys.
PJ?
Not Frank.
Get in here, PJ. You little rascal. Oh, not Frank either. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't know. It's good. I'm down with it, you know. I mean, he got to get his wick wet, and you know, he realized it's not smart and not good. I don't think by far that we've seen the end of this. I think, like I said, there's consequences, you know.
Right.
So shall we? Pregnant.
Yeah. All three of them are pregnant.
Oh, all those chosen ones.
So, what'd you guys think about the last chapter of the Vanguard serial?
Lo, there shall become an ending.
Please.
I gotta say, this whole Vanguard arc's been really great.
Co-signed.
It's been pretty fantastic, actually. It's not just in how it's been resolving all the loose ends, but just in general, the the art style, the action, it's just been really good. It's probably one of the best. Vanguard in general has been one of the best backups the book has had ever.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me wish that he had his own series, but times are tough.
Yeah, it's good. I love that it was very much its own thing, and yet it kind of expanded on some stuff. You know, getting to see the Krillian ship and how it plays into Van's world. I don't know. I mean, it's cool. You know,
it's cool because it incorporates a lot of new stuff and also incorporates a lot of old, like 1990s, 2000 stuff, which I'm not sure it's so great for new readers, but it pays off for longtime readers. Like, even seeing a villain like that Death Watch guy is like, really? They're bringing him back? You know, that's from like 1990 something, you know? Like it's kind of neat, a little nod, but I wonder how much, someone who doesn't know anything about him appreciates it, or even, it's written in a way that you don't really need to know anything about him, but
I think it's good to have, there's a really stark contrast between what's going on in the main book and what's going on in this backup. So I think it's really good to have that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on with Galleon, which for the listeners is the guy with the staff who was kind of a Frank Fosco creation. He used to be Ethrian, and now he's got the Janus staff, which is that crystal staff. And I thought it was kind of cool how they had Lurch kind of replicate him.
So
that he could awesome.
See, when Frank sort of teased us that Calyptus needed a guardian of some kind,
yeah,
you kind of assumed it would be Galen, but I think making it Lurch makes a lot more sense.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It gives Lurch purpose, and it frees up Galen to go back to the Ethrian story.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of which, I can't really recall all the details, but I thought the whole point was that there was a new Ethrian.
There is a new. What happens is that Janus staff makes it runs from a powerhouse, which is like a organic type building that helps grow each planet.
Right.
And it gives I guess one of those what they call a lens or something like that they wear on their heads.
Right.
And it turns a character into kind of an Ethrian type character.
Okay.
They're called ethereal warriors.
Right.
Which they had a Vanguard one-shot called Ethereal Warriors back in 2000.
Right.
So if you remember, Frank did a serial in Savage Dragon that started in 145. It was a 14-part Etherean serial. And in that issue, I think it was one of the humans became the new Ethrian,
right?
And Galeon lost the power,
right?
And then when they were talking about it, the new Ethrian was what do you say? Something Ethrian, he lost the power, but one day he may be worthy again.
Okay.
So now we're kind of seeing that now with the new, the Janus staff has been passed on. He's no longer the keeper of the staff. Now he's been kind of awarded one of those gems to put on his head, and he's been transformed into a new ethereal warrior and sent back to his old home. It's tough. I'm probably not getting it 100% correct.
Right. But I guess what I was saying.
I'm good at bullshitting, right?
Yeah. No, I think you're 100% right. It was just, I thought that when Galen left, there was already someone else in the Ethrian role. So having him get his powers back and be Ethrian again is just, I'm not sure how that's going to play out when he gets back.
Yeah, I think the Ethrian there's an Ethrian for Earth.
Right.
And now there's a new one for whatever planet he's going to.
No, I don't know. It says he went home. I assume that meant he went back to Earth.
No, well, he is originally from, what is it called? Ethrin or something?
Oh, well, that's true. I mean, I guess that would be his home. Huh.
He's like, yes.
Clearly, we need another Ethrian backup to confirm this.
Vanguard Ethereal Warriors kind of talks about the whole lore of the Ethereal Warriors and stuff like that, so it's a good refresher. That came out back in 2000 though, so you'd have to track down a copy probably through Mile High Comics or something like that. But yeah, and then if you went back and read Savage Dragon 145 through whatever 150 something is that 14-part Ethrian saga, which kind of will help refresh you as well. So anyway,
it was cool though. It was just cool to see there really seemed to be good closure going on left and right.
Yeah, it looks like a muck kind of took off.
They sort of mentioned that he comes back down the planet, buries his sister, and then just takes off with Van's ship.
Yep. We just said Lurch took over the Janus staff, and he's going to be kind of like the Calypton protector.
Modem is in Wally.
Yeah, that's also weird.
His little lips on the I Need a Cigarette panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Modem imprinted herself on Lurch and then transferred herself to Wally and let Lurch go.
Right. And
even Wally's getting laid in Savage Dragon.
It says that Modem mentions is that she's going to be in his head until they find another teleporter. I didn't really realize that she could spontaneously create herself out of teleportation accidents.
Yeah, I think that's how she gets trapped in becoming the Modem character back in the original Vanguard.
Yeah.
Right. But she did need a human body for that to work.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's a little weird.
It is crazy. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The tough thing about this Vanguard serial is it takes to fully kind of really get everything. You kind of got to go back and read books that are 20 years old. But it's cool if you put the time into it, and you don't have to get everything. But
as somebody who didn't even really super like Vanguard, I didn't love him, but I'm not getting everything. I know I'm not.
Yeah.
But I still really enjoyed this.
Right.
All the same.
Yeah, I can see that.
This is actually what made me like Vanguard. So I think it's okay for new readers. I realize I'm not getting the bigger picture, but with my newfound appreciation, I can go back, fill in the blanks. It's all good.
Right. So I guess Baracus and his crew of Calyptons are out in space somewhere.
Oh, yep, they're out there somewhere.
They took off.
They're out there somewhere, waiting.
So that just kind of leaves. Who does that leave left? Just Lurch, Roxanne, Van, and Wally.
Yep.
And I guess
And
Modem.
Modem's in there too.
But I guess they took all those dead bodies and they turned them, like the staff kind of made them into
Mulch.
compost, returned it to the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have the Krillian spaceship that they're gonna try to repurpose or something.
Which is cool. I like that that's going to get some kind of something.
Right. And I guess all the mechs destroyed all the floating cities to get rid of Death Watch.
So they're out of the picture.
They're out. No more floating cities. All the technology's gone. I do love the back cover. It really kind of conveys that they're looking up in the sky and seeing the cities explode on the Vanguard cover.
Yeah, it's a good cover. It's honestly, it's a bit more. See, the first panel I thought it was a little bit unclear about what they're looking at because it kind of just looked like clouds. If you gotta look a lot closer to see like the debris falling. But the cover really conveys that bit more about seeing the things exploding in the sky with the reflection and the wind flare.
Yeah.
It is weird to get a cover at the end of the comic, isn't it?
It's true.
I mean, I know there's no choice, but I'm just saying it's kind of a different thing.
Yeah, I do like it though. I do like when he does put the covers on because it does make it feel more like a standalone kind of comic, you know.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying it. I'll be really curious to see what the hell happens next as far as backups go. The funnies, Mars Space Barbarian. I liked it.
I like the art and I like the setup, but it doesn't really do anything for me. It was just kind of, I don't know, it doesn't seem to go anywhere.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. It's not my favorite, but it was cool. I appreciate the fact that they thrown different weird stuff in there.
I just didn't really understand what the punchline was.
It's just that they don't believe in him. You know, they're kind of talking about him like he's an urban legend, and he's hearing them talk about that.
Right.
So imagine that, you know, and he's not like, hey, that's me, I did that. Like, you know, he's just like, because they can't even believe how awesome he is.
But he knows he's awesome.
Yeah, that's the punchline. That's the joke. I like funnies has been interesting. I mean, sometimes it's strips, sometimes it's like, you know, little punchlines, sometimes it's just a page of this. You know, I don't know. I like the experimental stuff. I'm down with it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so good. It's so good, man. So, Cowabunga?
Another
issue in the can.
There you go.
Only another 98 more till we can
put this to bed.
98 more till we're done. I don't know. No, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. You want to talk about 203?
Let's talk about 203.
Malcolm Dragon faces the explosive power of Neutron Bob, and the deadly duo are sure to make matters worse. It's all-out action and hilarious hijinks as Malcolm faces one of his father's most fearsome foes. So, we gotta assume
Neutron Bob. If I met you, I love Neutron Bob.
Why are you doing that? You're scaring me.
Neutron Bob is my favorite of characters.
You almost quit. What would have happened to the FINcast if you quit because Neutron Bob got gutted?
Well, that already happened.
It could still happen.
Yeah, what are you going to happen to... you know, he's still cleaning house, as Heavy Flow proves.
Yes,
what are you going to do if Neutron Bob dies?
I'm hoping being in Detroit protects him.
Are you done? Are you finished?
No, it depends on context.
He'll have to. His mom will have to carry on. She'll be Neutron Mom.
Yes, perfect.
just like Aunt May.
Man, if that happened, I'd actually be totally down for it. If Bob died and she got so mad that she basically became a proactive, like, hero, villain, whatever, that would be good consolation prize.
You saw in Gavin's backup, she killed some dudes.
She did. She's
some
badass.
neutron ma'am.
That's it.
No, Raven had it right. Neutron mom.
It all comes. It's circular. You see, it all comes together. We planned this from the beginning. I'm excited. Anytime you can't go wrong with Bob.
I'm excited for the Deadly Duo.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I wonder how they'll get through this one.
They haven't interacted with Malcolm, right?
I don't believe so, no.
It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
I wonder if, you know how people are aging now?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't they be older? They don't look that much older on the cover.
I think the rule is that they never age.
Well, yeah, I think Kid Avenger doesn't age.
Because he's from the future.
He's locked in that suit. I think that suit kind of keeps him from aging or something.
And Kill Cat is like part cat.
He's got like those powers, yeah.
And for whatever reason, it keeps him young.
Because they're some of Eric's favorite characters.
I believe that's been established, yeah. Because they're like the only two characters that literally don't age.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You are flipping my lid with this shit. I can't believe that those two have immortality.
I think it's just because they're two of Eric's characters from when he was a kid, and he just decided that he wants them around forever.
All right.
So the rules of the book don't apply to them. They'll bumble until the end of time.
I have to check the Savage Dragon wiki.
That's going to be a fantastic dynamic when Malcolm spits out his first kid, and they're like, still, you told me to switch the map, boss.
Switch the map.
Switch the map. Switch the map. Nah, it's cool. I'm down with it. It's exciting. It's exciting.
It says
hey, here's a crazy idea. I wonder if Dart is retreating to Detroit.
Maybe.
Because that's sort of the original Dart's old stomping ground, so I assume Allison's from there.
Good point. Good thinking.
For in the Wikipedia, the Dragon Wiki, it says under special equipment, it talks about all the powers that his armor has. It says, but it also says the armor also rejuvenates. I'm talking about Kid Avenger. It says the armor also rejuvenates him and keeps him energetic and young looking. So there you go.
Handsome and tan.
And then for Kill Cat, let's see. I don't know. Doesn't say.
You're like,
Doesn't say his powers are part cat.
Well, Kill Cat has a strength of 10 men. He's quick as a jungle cat, can leap 20 feet straight up, and quite agile. Heightened senses, smell and taste better than the average man. Turn his fingernails into panther-like claws.
Oh, it's weird. He's got a pretty decent power set. I wonder why he's such a dumbass.
Because it's funny.
Because it's funny.
Yeah, that works for me. It's good. I'm excited. I can't wait for 203. When does Legacy hit again?
May or maybe April. I don't actually.
Okay.
March? No, we're in March. I think it's May.
All right.
Maybe it's March.
So they're not like.
Shit, I actually don't know. I haven't been to a free comic book day in like 5 years.
It's usually a great way to see some moms and kids. So yeah, that's probably why. And also no books.
I like, on when Erik actually did like real profiles for guys at one point in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Kill Cat, he put former aliases: Ungawa, KC, dumbass, that idiot, shithead, and like swear something face.
just some what the police commissioner calls him asshole.
Get in here, dumbass.
No,
yes?
the best part of issue 90, 89, my first issue, was that how Kill Cat admits to hijacking the phone line from the commissioner to Sergeant Marvel.
Yeah.
So they've been responding to all of Sergeant Marvel's phone calls, and I believe the public kept calling him Sergeant Marvel.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
have no idea what that was.
He was born in 1963, so he would be 52.
Oh, all right, damn.
Geriatric.
God, I didn't know that they had the immortality like in their power set. That just blows my mind. So you cats, you want to do the what's new real quick?
What do you mean, what's new?
Yeah, I might have to jet, but I'll stay as long as I can.
Okay, well let's talk.
Let's be
ourselves.
concise about it.
You know, give the viewers, you know, insight into the depth of our souls.
In other words, a little bit of filler for your drive home.
Question, you two. Do either of you have Netflix?
Yes.
I do.
Do either of you?
Well, I don't. My in-laws do, and I go there on the weekends sometimes.
The weekends over there. No, you don't just steal their login.
Oh, I get you.
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm so naive.
Well, are you talking about the new Daredevil and stuff?
No, actually not that. I'm talking about the greatest supervillain story ever told. House of Cards.
Breaking Bad? Oh, House of Cards.
I don't know if either of you guys have watched this show, but it is literally what you would get if you did a Lex Luthor focused TV show.
That's cool.
Ironic, since Kevin Spacey is the lead.
Also,
isn't he
Lex
now?
Luthor. You're right. I did not. That connection did not pass me by. Although I have not seen Superman Returns, so I actually
He's
don't.
a great Lex Luthor.
He is a great Lex Luthor. Well, this is a political drama about an amoral guy in Congress basically trying to become the most powerful person on Earth. Through all the bad.
Is Kevin Spacey ever not an amoral guy?
Yeah. But it's been.
Didn't he play Lex Luthor too?
Yeah, we were mentioning that. It's like he's like Moriarty mixed with Lex Luthor. Only,
Damn soul.
And the whole show is basically how he gets away with everything.
Sometimes that stuff just stresses me out.
It's been going for 3 seasons. I watched the first 2 seasons last month, and the 3rd season just came out yesterday. Because the way Netflix works, it just puts the original programming, they just put the whole season up at once.
Yeah.
So I've started season 3. It's pretty good. I won't spoil where it is in season 3 because it's quite a big change from where it started. It's a really good show. I highly recommend it. It's HBO quality. It's all the sex and violence you could possibly
Netflix's original programming has been actually really quality.
Yeah, I heard Orange is the New Black is pretty good, and I like BoJack Horseman is a great animated series. I love that show.
Fantastic.
I want to see the Marco Polo. That was supposed to be kind of
I heard
cool.
that one wasn't as good, if only because it's kind of like a network adventure show, and those always kind of seem to star like pretty young people, and you never really believe the costuming. I don't know.
I thought it kind of looked like Game of Thrones type stuff.
Well, I think it stars one of the Game of Thrones cast members. I want to say it's Jon Snow. I'm not sure which one.
I'm
good
mad at Netflix. It tricked me into watching the new RoboCop.
The new one?
Yeah. So you didn't like that? Because I haven't watched it yet.
Because everyone said that was a pretty good movie.
I don't know. It
doesn't
touch the old RoboCop.
No,
let's put it that way.
But I heard it stood on its own pretty well.
I will say that one of the reasons why I have not watched it is because we actually rewatched. Stephanie had not seen the original RoboCop, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "It's a film miracle. It holds up in 100%.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing crappy about it. Watch it." She watched it expecting to hate it. Loved it. One of her new favorites.
Yeah, this new one has no bite to it at all.
No.
Let's put it that way. The effects are really good. They're really neat, but it doesn't hold a stick to the old one.
No edge.
There's no gore like the old one. Like, I mean, part of the cool thing of the old RoboCop, like shooting the crap out of people and gore and just the whole. I don't know. It just doesn't hold up.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Just rewatch Dredd 3D.
Dredd was awesome.
Dredd was awesome.
Now that's how you do
Talk about
R-rated
sexy
action
chins.
I don't even think the new RoboCop was R-rated.
No, it's
probably
PG-13 because
It's like-
PG-13 sells. That's why all your horror movies are PG-13 these days.
Lame.
I mean,
Lame ass.
I mean, the effects are good. I mean, you can't compare the old effects to new effects now.
I don't know. There's something to be said about practical effects versus like really post-processed CGI.
Yeah, but the Ed 209 old effects or whatever, like the stop motion.
Yeah, that stop motion's a little noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's
could probably be
unfortunate.
improved. But
It's unfortunate.
Like the suit, I imagine the new suit was a lot of like blue screen gloves with like CG models like filling it out.
I don't know. I
No,
guess.
I don't know. I haven't seen.
You're probably right. I mean, Iron Man style, where like
Right.
all Tony Stark actually had on was like a helmet and some hands.
Right, and then
Maybe.
fill in the rest in post.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
don't know.
more
It's
practical
crazy.
so the actor can move.
Well, next episode, you guys can tell me what you thought about it. I mean, yes,
I do plan on watching it.
if I never knew of like the original RoboCop, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, good concept, good idea. But
Yeah.
if you can't improve on the original, don't do it.
Well, I heard that it like adds this whole new element to his like family life.
Which, who gives a shit?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I hate to be a jerk.
That's the
but,
worst
like,
part of the movie, honestly. It's like,
in Iron Man 3, when there was the kid, I was like, I don't watch movies to see little dumb kids.
I hated Iron Man 3 so much.
Really,
It was
I
bad.
thought Iron Man 3 was better than Iron Man 2, but Iron Man 2 was dog shit. But
I didn't think Iron Man 2 was that bad. A lot of people say that too, but
I
3, what's that?
I said I like 2. I didn't love 3.
3 was completely horrible
in
in every way.
my only problem with 3 was there were too many guns.
My problem with 3 is that anyone can just jump in the Iron Man suit and use it.
But
Like,
that's
My problem with
that's sort
my
of
problem with 3.
that's sort of the premise of Iron Man is that technically anyone can be Iron Man. It's just that Tony Stark only allows himself to be.
My
That's
problem
kinda-
with 3 was just as like, why are you gonna have like Christmas trees and a sequence where he's sitting on a couch with some dumb kid? Oh, bullies are bad. Here's some Stark tech. It's like, you're a moron. This is terrible.
half of the movie was just him out of the suit being Sherlock Holmes.
That's also
Yeah.
true. There wasn't enough suit play. in
Not
the
enough
movie.
suit. Also, how about I got a cool plot point. Let's have an Applebee's freak out. So you build Hulkbuster armor in Avengers.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
But
I
I did like the fact that the villains were not just another armor suit, and that they were actually superhumans. And I did like the fact that what's her name? Girlfriend.
I know, girlfriend. She's my favorite character.
I like
Gwyneth.
Pepper
Yeah.
Potts?
Yeah, Pepper. I like that Pepper saves the day in the end. I thought that was good.
Yeah. I hated Guy Pearce. Oh, let me barf flame out of my mouth. No, dumb. And
Did
he
you guys
played like
read
the
the-
corniest, like dorkiest
But we just read
character.
a comic with Flame Barf.
Yeah, but that's fine. And that, like, in Iron Man, it just didn't fit. I don't know. It just,
Did you read Extremis that it was based on?
yeah, no, I know.
See, okay, can I just say though, here's the thing. Go back, read Extremis, because what's sad is they cannibalized a really quality Iron Man story
Yeah.
for that movie, which unfortunately, as cool as Extremis was, the movie did not really give the TLC as to why you would ever want to be a flame vomiting living bomb person. Like, it's not awesome at all the way they did it.
Yeah.
Read Extremis. Extremis is written by Warren Ellis, and I think art's by Adi Granov or whatever. It's fucking great.
I just think some actors don't get comic book movies. I think Guy Pearce is one of them. I think Jamie Foxx is another, where they think they have to play it over the top, like it's a Tim Burton movie. Like it's,
I see that.
and I like the Tim Burton movies, but I don't know. I think comic book movies have gotten beyond that, and we're trying to have fantastic elements, but still play it serious, like a Lord of the Rings type thing. Like we all know it's fantasy and kind of silly, but when you go over the top and try to be some like real nerdy outcast character with buck teeth and stuff like that, it's just like it doesn't work.
Do you know what's lame? The lamest thing ever is that plot point is 100% the Edward Nygma plot point from Batman.
Yeah.
And in addition, they also recycled that exact same plot point for Electro in the Spider-Man movie with Andrew Garfield.
And it was hot as garbage.
And it's like, why is that a recurring theme in those movies?
I just
Like,
hate when they have to be like so over the top. It's like,
Isn't
ugh.
that a pretty common superhero trope?
oh, he doesn't like me. I must destroy him.
Yeah, that's like old as
Venom.
like time.
It's horrible. It's really lame.
So, what's your opinion of the Batman versus Superman Aquaman design?
I'm okay with it. They gotta follow their own voice and not try to be Marvel. They're never gonna be Marvel. So I'm okay with this dark path.
I think it looks like brown garbage, but
brown garbage.
You're right about forging your own path. It doesn't need to try to be Marvel. What it needs to try to be is Fox's X-Men, which is that middle ground.
I hate all the X-Men movies.
Have you seen the new ones? They keep getting love. I haven't seen them.
Well, I haven't seen the newest one.
What I hear is 1 and 2. Well, 1 is okay. It's actually not very good. 2 is good. The rest all blow. And Days of Future Past. First Class is good, and Days of Future Past is good. And those
that's kind of what I'm
only
hearing.
4 you need to watch.
I just watched that Wolverine, the Wolverine movie. It was such a piece of shiz.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awful. I watched Wolverine.
Well, how can you mess up Wolverine in Japan with ninjas? How can you mess that up?
By turning it into a techno thriller, I assume.
Oh, so bad. Like, you got to be a complete idiot to mess up that scenario. You know, like, here you go, Wolverine, ninjas, Japan. Like, how can this be bad?
Because you can't have Asian actors in a Hollywood movie.
I guess. I don't know.
Question. Have either of you seen Power/Rangers?
Yeah, but I can't get behind that.
You can't get behind that.
Is it the Grim and Gritty Power Rangers
Yeah.
15-minute film?
Yeah, it's a short film.
Listen, you can make a lot of things grim and gritty, but Power Rangers is so...
Well, then you are going to...
Maybe it's just me because I'm older.
Comic I'm writing.
Huh?
You're going to hate the comic I'm writing.
Sorry.
Because I've been writing Grim and Gritty Power Rangers for like a year.
I'm sorry.
Been working on it.
I'm just going to shut up then. I don't want to
No, it's fine. I understand your reservations about it. I mean, there's a certain like what's the word I'm looking for? It's you can't.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, making things grin and gritty is like in, or at least it was in. But I think this Power Rangers short film is more a statement on making kiddie things grim and gritty, as opposed to just being grim and gritty.
I gotta admit it was well done.
Right.
I don't know. Some of the like I said, it's like, what are they gonna do next? Make the Smurfs like commandos or something? I don't know.
When he said it's morphin time, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
In the Batman voice, it's morphin time.
I just wanted to see a giant
the whole thing. Unfortunately, I just wanted
rubber
to see
monster.
You two had.
I will say that their Rita Repulsa was absolutely horrible. How did they mess that up so bad when everything else was?
Well, I believe that's the actual actress from like season 2 and 3 of Power Rangers.
No way.
No, I'm fairly certain that's the case. The original actress is dead, I believe, and she was a Japanese actress. But the replacement, I believe, is who was cast in this.
Everything else was so good in that short film, and their Rita Repulsa, she did not make my monster grow.
Is that the? That's the main the villain at the end.
Yeah, but at the end where he's like, "Oh no," and it's like she turns into Rita.
Yeah, that in the original one, she was just like a Japanese like dubbed character, right?
Right. She was from the original Japanese source material, and they dubbed. I believe it was a weird thing where they might have dubbed over her with her own actress.
I think you're right, actually.
But then she got like her character got rejuvenated, made and recast in season 2.
All of those started as like just footage, and then they ended up they ran out of footage, and the thing was so popular they had to kind of make new stuff.
I just remember as I was getting too old for it, that's when it came out, so I wasn't like as big a fan as I know like some people at my work that are younger than me were like all into it, and I was just like, Drek.
Yeah, Power Rangers was in my formative years. I was into it for probably like 2 or 3 years. The good years, Green Ranger era.
Yeah, I'm down with all that early Green Ranger, White Ranger stuff. All the like ninjas and pirates and all that shit.
Of course, now I'm a huge weeb, so I really want to watch the original source material, which was actually released on DVD.
See that? All this stuff means nothing to me. I know nothing about it, so
it's just the series is called Super Sentai. It's been running since the 70s.
I know Night Ranger. That's what I know.
No, I think you mean Kamen Rider.
No, I mean the metal band Night Ranger.
Oh. So
Sentai are just like superheroes for Japan, basically.
yeah,
It's kind
Super
of cool.
Sentai I believe translates to superhero.
Gotcha.
Right. You know what? I just want to say this is an odd sort of connection I can make here, but I like Beautiful Joe, who is a Super Sentai video game character, and Jim likes Archie comics. Did you see their awesome Sega Capcom Archie crossover where it's not just Marvel, it's not just Sonic and Mega Man now, it's like all of the company?
Really? Was that recently
Yeah.
announced?
Very recently
Hold
announced.
on.
They had a
I'm
cover.
CBR in it.
I'm just saying it's kind of an awesome idea because comics still need help. They still, it's funny. Comics are like they're owning the shit out of the box offices, and yet print comics are still super like hurting, right? Which is weird. But like I think if more video games had comics, there would be a huge crossover. And I don't know, when I see this crossover, it's awesome.
A lot of comics, a lot of video games get comic book tie-ins. A lot of movies do too.
Guys, I'm going to check out because
All
it's
right.
getting late.
Do your thing, pimpin'.
Holy fuck!
What?
Look at this fucking key art. We got fucking Sonic and Mega Man X and Ryu and Beautiful Joe and fucking Alex Kidd.
I know, dude. I know. That's what I'm saying.
And Knights.
This is probably a good time for me to leave. You guys can share the
Holy
love of
fuck!
I
Jim's
think
gonna have
that-
a coronary.
Jimmy Hatcher, Dragon Hatcher.
All right, see ya.
See you.
Have a good one, Greg.
The Savage FINcast is a member of the Gutter Trash Podcast Network, which can be found at guttertrash.net. The Savage FINcast is part of the Comics Podcast Network, which can be found at comicspodcast.com. Also, find us on YouTube at youtube.com/user/SavageFINcast.